Hello and welcome to a Lion Monster Farm video. Today I'll be giving a general guide on how to improve the ratings of your monsters, as well as raising a monster in hopes of getting an S rank. I'll be assuming that you know the basics on how to acquire and level up your monsters and assist cards, but if there's anything I don't bring up in the video, feel free to comment below and I'll try to answer. You can also check out the Monster Rancher Discord, which has a chat dedicated to Lion Monster Farm, where we share info about events and friend summons, as well as get hype about / commiserate over our gacha luck. So the link for that is in the description. The first thing we're going to look at is all the various things that you select and power up before a run even starts. Because what happens during a run is largely random, so the best thing you can do to consistently raise your ranking is to prepare well. I'll start with the newest addition to the game, which is the Books of Upbringing. Sidebar, I can't read Japanese, so if I'm referring to something in game, it's from a machine translation. This is a collection of books, one general, one over here, that applies to all monsters, as well as one for each color of monsters. The boosts to prioritize here are these first 6 options, which are just a starting stat boost. Between the general book as well as the individual color book, that gives plus 15 to all stats at the start of a run, which is even more than raising a monster's star level by 1. So that's pretty significant to give you a good start. The next one's here, these two. I don't think they actually raise your rating, but they do raise your accuracy and HP during battles in the raising process. So these two are nice to prioritize because they'll make battles much smoother. And there's some tough / unfair fights in the raising process that pretty tough. The other ones that are nice is the loyalty one. This gives you a nice little boost at the start, makes your monster less likely to ignore commands in battle, and improves your stat gains slightly. And the last one to prioritize, I think, is the ability points one. Getting both the general and color book is just 90 extra ability points, which will usually let you learn another ability, so that's good for maybe, I don't know, 70 or so points in the run, just on its own. The monster I'm going to be raising for this run is going to be a red monster, which I actually have the least amount of these unlocked for. But we'll see that once we get to the raise. Next, we're going to look at the assist cards. These are really important to understand to get a really good rating. First, there's the various stat cards. So you got one for each stat, intelligence, speed, life, power, defense, and accuracy. You're going to be bringing 4 to 5 of these in your card loadout each round, so good idea to get familiar with them. Now, while you might be tempted to just run all your SSRs that you have, you shouldn't be sleeping on just the SRs. SRs are actually quite solid, and the general rule that I go by is that a level 45 SR can be roughly equivalent to a level 40 SSR. And you also get a lot of gold scrolls from pulling, so it's very easy to get all your SRs up to the maximum limit break. I personally try not to use the R cards, except for maybe the trainer cards, as they still have, some pretty good events and mostly do what they're supposed to, but even then, I'd really try to prioritize using a higher rarity trainer card if you can. So when evaluating cards, the important thing to look at is what boosts it gives monsters of the same aura. For example, this model plant here gives the coveted errantry bonus. You'll notice it by this kind of backpacky symbol here. This is the most important one to prioritize, as getting at least a level 45 SSR will give you plus 40% to your errantry stat gains. That's huge. This alone will give you potentially like plus 15 to each stat gain during errantry, which, you do 8 of those in a round, usually, hopefully. So that's a ton of stats right there. All the other aura boosts released so far are pretty good to have. and if you can get them, get them. But the one that I would avoid is this one here. You'll notice it by the G. This is extra money from tournaments. This is not that useful. So, like, I'd skip this. I wouldn't prioritize this at all. As far as the other boosts in this menu, I wouldn't necessarily say that the rest of them are like interchangeable, but most of the rest of them are just bonuses that are nice to have. And I'm not necessarily sure like how often one will be better than the other. For example, this type of bonus here is just a flat boost to the stats that you gain while you're training with this card. Whereas something like this over here, this is a boost to this card's appearance rate. So, like, I'm not necessarily sure which one on average will be better for your training, whether, having a card show up a lot more or having a card just give better stats to the training when it does show up. One effect that I would avoid, though, is anything starting with this series of characters here. This refers to things like where you gain skills during the training. It's called inspirations. Gaining extra skills during training isn't a big priority, in my opinion. Like, you're never going to be wanting for skills at the end of the run. You're generally going to have more skills available to you than you're able to learn. So gaining more skills / like more discounts on skills, I don't think it's going to increase your rating nearly as much as any of the other abilities on this list. The one that's like maybe alright is this one here that has the point icon. It doesn't have the earlier icon. This is relates to like extra ability points gained when you're using this card. Still probably not as good as just the ones that increase appearance rate or training effect or great. This one over here is great effect, but it's not as bad in my opinion as these ones over here that just increase your ability to get inspirations. So I'd avoid these if you can, unless you have a very good reason for taking that card. For example, this Watermelon Gabu card has that as a decent number of its slots, but it has a completely unique aura effect that is quite good, where it gives extra bonuses to this number that you start off a run, this number of stats that you start off a run with when you're using cards. One other note is that aura and breed bonuses don't stack. Only the largest one is applied. So if you have, this model plant with plus 40%, and you also have this worm with plus 20%, you're not going to have plus 60%. You're just going to have plus 40% when it comes to the aura bonuses. One important thing to know is how all these cards work during errantry, where the game decides what stats you gain during the errantry based on the type and quantity of cards that you bring. Stats are paired together, so the pairs being power and intelligence, speed and defense, and life and accuracy. So you definitely only want to bring one type in each of the pairs, so something like power, defense, and life, or intelligence, speed, and skill. This will make sure that the stats you gain during errantry are of those specific types and will maximize their stat gain. As examples, say you have 2 power, 1 defense, 1 life, and 1 skill card. Errantry will always give you something around like 35 power, 25 defense, and either 25 life or 25 skill. If you have 2 life cards and no skill cards, it will always give you 35 life in that slot. Something to keep in mind is that the higher a stat goes, the more rating each stat provides. So, for example, if you have 800 life, it's going to be more than double the rating of 400 life. So because of that, you really want to focus on raising 3 stats as high as you can. I wouldn't look into doing some kind of like mixed pairs build unless you have a really good reason to do so and very, very high level cards. The last thing I want to talk about regarding the stat cards is the numbers on this screen here. The most important one being this top number, which is the starting bond that the card will have during the run. Now, you want to get this number up to 80 during the run, because that will unlock rainbow trading, which will give a lot more stats when you trigger it during trading. the number here correlates directly to the level of the card you're using. So this is why, in my opinion, a level 45 SR card is much better than a level 30 SSR card. Because even though the SSR card will have like more events, it's still going to take longer for you to get that bond level up to that 80 threshold to unlock that better training when you're running drills. The other numbers, the bottom number here is how much of this particular stat you gain at the start of the run. The number here is how often this card will show up in training, like an extra boost to that. And this number here is how effective this card is during the training, I believe. This probably translates to like increased support effect, so I think that might just influence like how much the stat is boosted when this card shows up, but I'm not sure about that. Regardless, this first number here is really the one that's really important. Next, let's talk about trainer cards. These are the ones with the handshake icon, and you should generally be taking 1 or 2 during your runs. I've had the most success with 1 personally recently. They give you a boost to your errantry stat gains, tournament winnings, event frequency, as well as a bunch of little other buffs here. But the most important part of them is that they have a lot of stamina recovering events that will take place over the run, which will decrease the amount of times you'll have to rest, which will mean you have more weeks to actually train and get into battles and do errantries. It's a really good idea to prioritize leveling up and limit break in an SSR here, one if you have one. If you don't have a high level SSR, you can always borrow one, or the SR guy here, Poles, is a decent card to start off with, as he has a couple events that fill up a ton of stamina when they occur. It's kind of random, but he can be good for a starting out player. Lastly, this is the hero cards. These are the MR cards over here with the little wing. They're fairly recent, and they have their own slot in the card loadout, so it's basically a free boost if you have one, and you get nothing for not having one. Currently, not every color of card is released, but as soon as you're able to afford one in a color you like, you should get one. The currency to acquire them and limit break them from the Grand Slam events happen roughly once every month. So it can be like slow to, acquire these and level them up, but they're very worth it if you're able to. They also, when you take them on a run, they unlock an additional week of training and a stamina-free tournament with good stat gains if you win, and even some stat gains if you lose. You unlock this by bringing them on your run and training with it a couple of times, and then you'll get an event which will unlock it later in the run. The biggest benefit they provide, though, is increasing your monster's maximum stat caps. There's nothing worse than raising a stat really, really high, so high that you cap it early and end up with wasted stats. And again, the higher a stat goes, the more rating each stat will provide. So getting one of these to limit break 1 will give at least a plus 40 stat cap to any monster that you use it with, as well as, plus 80, potentially plus 120 once you get to limit break 2 to the specific color. So honestly, this is the thing that makes it easier to get S ranks these days. The last big thing to prep is what secrets your monster will inherit. This is in this screen when you're starting to raise a monster, and you basically select your 2 parent monsters, and they will inherit based on these secrets, which are in this page here. There's a lot here, but the main thing to prioritize are the blue and green secrets, as well as this specific white secret. This is the Major Force Sweep secret. This will give you a stat boost to all of your stats if you happen to roll it when you're creating a monster, as that's another random thing in this game. So you should always be aiming to complete all 4 Major 4 tournaments in a kind of serious run, because that not only makes the monster that you're raising better, but If you get the secret, then that'll make any monsters you raise further even better. The blue secrets here, each star of a blue secret gives you plus 10 of the stat displayed and that's guaranteed. There's also a bonus to your stats based on the compatibility, as well as if this monster is one of yours. If you use one of the friend monsters, they're just going to take those blue secrets as they are. So even though this has a star compatibility, it's not going to be getting additional stat points beyond the 40-20. Whereas this one here will be getting an extra, 6 and 3 on these stats here. If you can get 3-star stat secrets, that's great. But if you can't, 2-star fine. 2-star is very common to get when you're finished a run. Avoid 1-star if you can, because again, 2 stars are common enough that you should always be trying to use 2 stars. Lastly, is the green secrets. These don't affect your terrain and distance aptitudes. I'm not really sure if these influence your rating at all, but the terrain aptitudes in particular give a multiplier to your rating when you're doing breeder battles and expeditions. So when you're trying to go for a really high rating as your top priority, making one of these into an S rank is also very, very useful. The ways these work is that each one, if you have 1 star, at least 1 star in any of these aptitudes, they'll go up by 1 rank. And then they'll go up by additional ranks for every 3 stars you have beyond that. So 1 star is 1 rank, 4 stars would be 2 ranks, 7 stars would be 3 ranks, and so on. Alright, let's try and put all that into practice now. So the first step is choosing our scenario. The IMA Champions Classic here is best for speed-based monsters. We're not going to be doing that, we're going to be raising a defense-based monster. So we're going to use Melissa's scenario. Melissa's scenario is better for defense-based monsters because the defense drill in this scenario gives a little bit of extra accuracy and life. So no matter what stat you're specializing in, you're still going to get a little bit for your offstat. The monster we're going to be using is Draco Mocchi here. You'll notice it's 4 stars. I'm very confident in my ability to get a 5-star monster up to S rank, mostly because of this guts rate skill that they get for being a 5-star monster. This is worth 400 rating alone, so that's enough to get you over that last little hump into S rank. But gonna be going with Draco Mocchi here for 2 reasons. 1, be a little bit more of a challenge, and 2, I kind of want to show that it's possible to get an S rank even with a 4-star monster, even with like a not optimal setup. Next is the nature screen here. These are tiny little boosts. I don't know how useful they even are in practice, but I'm going to be going with the one that feels like it'll make the most impact, which is raise my accuracy even more. And now we're at the secrets screen. So the monsters that I'm going to be using for parents here, this one here has 4 stars in Volcano, which is good. I'm going to be trying to get this Mocchi up to a S rank Volcano. So these 4 stars here will bring it from a C to an A, which is going to be very nice. The next thing important that it has is the coveted 3-star Major Force Sweep. So this monster has it. As far as its parents, I've only got 1 other star here and a bunch of other random secrets, but at least having this 3-star on the immediate parent here will make sure that this Mocchi could potentially be a great parent in the future if it also manages to get that 3-star Major Force Sweep. The other one I have has 9-star Major Force Sweep, and nothing else of note, but that's going to be very useful to hopefully get a nice big stat boost at the very beginning here. That'll set us up really nicely. Now, the stats I'm gaining from this aren't great. They're all 2-star stat secrets between them. And I'm not gaining anything in intelligence or defense, but my hope is that I'll still be able to max those anyways with the cards that I have. So not having the best stat distribution here hopefully won't hurt me that much. So as far as the cards I'm bringing on this run, important things to note is this maxed out trainer card. It's really important to get a maxed out trainer card for the fact that trainer cards are very, very useful, and it opens up your borrow slot so that you don't ever have to worry about borrowing a maxed out trainer card. If you don't have one of those, if you're trying to raise a Draco Mocchi, you could go for Tabitha, for example, who's great because she does the dual purpose of giving you a nice trainer card and has the very important errantry up aura bonus. Now, we're not going to be using that though, we're going to be using Sakura art here, because that has the errantry bonus as well as the breed bonus. Now, just to reiterate, breed bonus doesn't stack, neither does any of the aura bonuses, so despite the fact that I have this other mochi here, it's not going to be giving me extra breed bonus. I've got 2 defense guards, which will hopefully make my defense drills very, very good. An accuracy card to round it out, and lastly, this model plant here, which is going to be very useful because it has a random event to give extra volcano affinity. So that'll give me an extra chance to get up to S rank during the run, along with the Terrain Cup. Lastly is the hero card. I've got a pretty high rank one here, but it doesn't match the color that I'm using. So it's only going to be providing 40 extra base stats. But I say only, but there's a host of other benefits to having a hero card, like the extra week of training, extra tournament, as well as other bonuses. So this is the load we're going to be using. Looks pretty good. As far as items, because we have a bunch of Major Force Sweep secrets that we want to get, I bring in the White Flower here. That increases your compatibility for the monsters that you're using as parents, and makes it so that you gain more secrets to inherit. If you don't have a lot of Major Force secrets that you want to try and inherit, I'd stay away from this. It's a little bit rarer than some of the other ones here, and I just go with the energy drink instead, because the energy drink is quite good. I'm also going to be going with the breeder license here. Breeder license is a very useful item. It gives you 20 extra loyalty at the start of a run. That's going to make your early battles much, much smoother, as well as basically guaranteeing that you get to max loyalty in a run. I've definitely been able to get to max loyalty without this item, but that's a bit more difficult. Having high loyalty also gives you a little bit of stat bonuses. For example, if we look at the cards that we have here, we've got a few that have this particular ability here, which is extra stat gains based on how much loyalty you have. So got a lot of those bonuses, so having good loyalty is going to make these cards even better. And with that, the last thing we need to do is name. And given that this is kind of a tutorial, let's go with King Tut. Alright, now we're ready to start. Now, this part here is going to go very fast because I have everything turned up to the max speed. So we're going to have to come back and look at how good this combination is at the end here. Okay, so as far as the combination went, okay, pretty decent. We can fairly easily tell here that we got plus 23 to all stats from like Major Force secrets and whatnot, because we weren't going to be getting any intelligence or defense otherwise, but 23 is a decent result here. Not the best, not the worst, so this is looking decent. As well, we got a bunch of aptitude increases and a couple skills that I'm not too worried about. The first things first is to use the breeder card. I'm actually gonna go in and look at, a particular drill. Yeah, let's look at this drill, just to show how much loyalty can impact how much you gain. So, normally it's 16 and 5. After using the breeder card here, it's now 18 and 6, so a little bit of extra points here. So, as far as which one we want to go with, Yep, this one seems like the best here. In this early stage here, you really want to focus on getting your affinity with all your trainer cards up, or not trainer cards, assist cards up as much as you can. So you'll see their affinity here, and you want that up to yellow as soon as possible. So focus on trainings that's going to raise your stat cards specifically to that level. So for example, you know, I've got 2 here, but one of them is the trainer card that you kind of get automatically in the run, which is useful to level up, but I want to level up, you know, these 2 models over here first. As far as what options to select during these events, most of the time I just suggest choosing the left option. That's going to mostly correlate to the stats that the card gives normally. Yeah, so this is an example where I don't necessarily want extra speed, but this is a good raise because it's going to raise 3 affinities here. One of them is the hero card, which matters a little bit less than the 2 stat cards, but that's going to be very useful. There are a few event choices that you should use the right one for. I'll point those out as we go. There's really only one that you'll see every run that you should always do the right option for. The rest, you know, it's kind of trial and error or looking it up on various sites. Okay, so now we've got two options here. We've got this one here that's got our trainer card and our guy there. This will probably get us up to yellow, or we could go here. I'm gonna go here, just guarantee that we get this model into the yellow. That's great. And we triggered, you know, 2 events for our trainer card there that, you know, raise us all the way up to maximum stamina there. So we're at the end of like 5 weeks and we are at max stamina. That's the power of trainer cards. Okay, that's looking like a good drill there. Yep, we're gonna go with that one. I haven't been grabbing any of my skills yet. Generally, you might want to grab those early, because there are a couple that are very useful in raising your stats just to make the raising process faster. Or not necessarily faster, but easier. I'm at the point where I can't necessarily edit the video to cover up my mistakes, so I'm going to be misspeaking a lot here. Alright, so we're past the debut stage into the main part of the race here. Because now we have unlocked the ability to errant trees, so that's going to be another decision point that we're going to have to make every week. Again, speaking on skills here, what you want to do to prioritize a good rating is try to go for the gold skills. Those give a better return on investment. But in terms of just making your run smoother, the go-to skills are this one here. You get this with every monster, no matter what level, what star ranking you have, which just boosts all your stats except for life a little bit. So that's a great thing to pick up. And chances are, by the time you get to the end of the run, you won't have enough stat points to only go for gold skills anyway, so grabbing this to make your run a little bit easier is pretty useful. I'm also going to be grabbing this one here. This one you get for leveling up your monster's talent level to 2. And it, for base 3-star monsters, is going to give you stat ups in 2 stats. Being intelligence, or accuracy and speed. That's going to be useful too. So we're past the debut stage and we've already got rainbow trainings. So as you can see, 26 and 11, that's going to dwarf like all these other ones here. So that's why it's so important to get the rainbows up first. And that's also looking like the best training we can do. And I think that's good enough that I'll do this instead of doing an errantry. Okay, looking through. No rainbows. No 3 groups, only 2 groups, so I think this is as good a time as any to talk about errantry. So, for this run, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 possible techs that we can learn. And we will be getting 8 total errantry tickets throughout the run. So, for this, we want to kind of try and maximize our training chances. Because we want to be learning every single one of these techs to gain the highest rating possible. So we could start with this 100%er right here, but the first tech that you learn has, or that you try to learn has a bonus here, 15% for the top row and 8% for the second row. 0% for the third row, so don't try and get too fancy trying to tech skip here. So we could go for this 100% chance, but that is going to make this headbutt kind of more difficult to learn in total, because as you can see, like a chunk of this 15% is wasted on this here. So by grabbing headbutt first and then going for roll attack here, I think that's going to give us a better percentage overall, just a tiny bit of learning every single tech here. So we're going to go for headbutt. And we learned it, great. That would have been extremely embarrassing if we didn't learn it there. Okay, now we are in position for seasonal here. Now, I'm still unsure whether or not seasonal is a great cup to go for. Especially with the run that we're going to be doing, because we're going for the terrain cup for sure. We're going to be going for Heels Cup, I think, maybe. I'm not entirely sure on that one. We'll have to see when we get there. We're going for Derby for sure. And the IMA Classic. And I probably want to do the first long-range tournament as well, because, again, I want to be learning every single tech, and these range tournaments give you items that increase your percentages. Not going to be going for the Scarlet Cup, even though it will boost one of our techs with the ability that gives. In terms of rating, these are not very good cups for your rating. They don't give very many stats. So I've kind of gotten into the pattern of doing the seasonals, so I don't think I'm going to break that just yet. So we're going to try it out. Hey, we got the mirror match. Now, our only attacking skill that we have right now is pretty bad, being Pedal Swirl, but as you can see from our life, we have so much life compared to our opponent that it doesn't even matter all that much if we just like hit with power attacks. Like, Slap doing like, 18% of their health is pretty good. In terms of battles, it's best to try... Oh, well, great. Never mind that. It's best to try to gain and sit on a lot of guts, but it's not the most important thing. It doesn't improve your damage all that much. It's good for improving your hit percentage, though. So I'll talk a little bit more about that when we get to a battle that's a bit longer. I didn't really expect that. Okay, so food at the end of tournaments is kind of important. In this scenario, want to be going for jellies because they raise stats. This particular jelly raises our accuracy, which is probably going to lag a little bit behind our intelligence and defense, just because our intelligence and defense goes up quite a bit more during our errantries. Alright, so now we got the volcano. Hopefully we'll get the event from our model plant that gives us extra terrain affinity early, so that I don't actually have to do the second terrain cup. Yeah. One of the best benefits of having like really good inheritance at the start of a run is that, you know, you can just start auto battling runs. I've even auto battled seasonals before. I think this is my first time actually using that Mochi Pixie card, so I don't necessarily know what its bonuses are in terms of its events. But okay, so now this week here is a very interesting week because it has these two cups and these two cups here. These are pretty useful in that they give a particular item that boosts your stats during a drill or also during errantry, which is useful to know. They also give plus 20 abouts to either power or intelligence, even the bronze ones. So I think I'm gonna try doing one. And I think I'm just gonna go with the bronze one. Now, an important thing to know is that because I'm doing this after, you know, going to 2 tournaments, I'm gonna have tournament fatigue here, which is gonna cut my stats in half. Despite that, my stats are still really good compared to my opponents here, and auto battle tends to be slightly better than you might expect when you have tournament fatigue. So yeah, that gave me plus 21 to a stat. Took less stamina than training a drill. Gave me a little bit of extra stat bonus there from a post-tournament snack. And gives me a, you know, free drill snack that is going to be useful. So now we're looking kind of tired, so let's do a rest. That not the very last event that we did, but the event before that I gave my Mochi a little bit of extra power. Draco Mochi's stat gains are a little weird in that some of the stats that it gains from events are power, so raising this intelligence one is also going to be a little bit awkward in that respect. Okay, let's see what kind of raises we got here. These aren't great. I might use this week as an errantry week. Generally, it's best to try to, you know, do these errantries as late as possible, focus on raising bonds. Maybe that is an argument to do this one here, because I'll get my other model here up. Yeah, let's do that. It also gives me an extra little bit of life buffer, which I'm not going to have much life gains for this this race here. Okay, so now we need to decide whether or not we want to go into the Heals Cup. The Heals Cup will give me some loyalty boosting items. The Heals Cup and Heroes Cup are very useful if you decide not to bring the Breeder card, because that's one of the ways to help you get up to max loyalty without it. I don't necessarily need to use it. It's a nice cup for raising my accuracy by 20, but if we have a nice training here, I'd rather do that. And we kind of don't, so I'm gonna go for it. Now, this is a decent amount more tournaments than I normally do during a run. So we'll see if this ends up negatively impacting my score at the end. Like, I try not to do Terrain Cup as much as possible. Okay, now we're at the first kind of difficult part of the run, which is Derby. Okay, so Derby is sunny right now, so I will go here and grab... Oh no, I don't have the sun up skill. I have the volcano up skill. Okay, never mind that. Let's grab this gold skill here. Maybe it'll help my damage a little bit during the final stages of the match. I'll use an item, and let's pray that we get a decent opponent here. Derby's very difficult, but is fairly crucial to doing an optimal run. And okay, we got like the second easiest opponent for this particular Draco Mocchi here, because we got this green Suezo, it's green, so we're going to be able to do a lot of damage with our red ability. As long as we don't get bitten, we'll be fine. A couple tips during battle is that, you know, it's not the easiest thing in the world to knock out your opponents if you don't have like aura skills. Oop. So just going for timer scams and getting really good at completing timer scams is very important. Like, knowing that you are faster than your opponent, having good arena movement speed is useful for just like running out the clock there. Like, I was able to just move around there while my opponent had 99 guts, so I'm cutting out their total amount of guts that they're possibly able to use during the match. But that particular match is always going to be a damage race, because that Suezo has ungodly power and accuracy for this part of the run. So, got pretty lucky there. And we're going to get a very useful item from that Derby. These peaches, dumplings, I'm not entirely sure what they are. Nice, raises the total stamina that you have. That also means that anything that restores a percentage of stamina, which is resting and tournament rewards, will restore a little bit more as well. So this is a lot more stamina during the run. Alright, let's look here. We got another rainbow here. Looks decent. Yeah, let's do that. Really want our blue Mochi card to get up to Rainbow before Prime. That's gonna hopefully enable us to get some really good defense drills, which is the kind of the selling point of doing Melissa's run. Okay, so the best we can do is like, yeah, I mean that's solid. I'll get Sakura Art into the good range. So that's 3 of our cards so far in the yellow. Now we're at the end of the phase, and this is where the Anime Classic comes in. This is a pretty good tournament because it doesn't cost you any stamina, gives a good amount of prize money, is very, very easy, and gives a really good stat bonus and loyalty bonus at the end of it. So this is the main event where you want to pick the right option. For whatever reason, picking the left option gives you +5 to every stat and a little bit of heart loyalty, whereas picking the right option gives you +8 to every stat and a little bit of star loyalty. So that's just extra stats right there. Let's get some more extra stats. And here we go. So as far as our boost for getting into this phase, I'm not near max loyalty, so or maxed stamina, so I'm gonna get the stamina boost. If I'm near, if I was at like about this amount, I'd probably go for the stat boost, which is the right option. But 40 stamina is good for like a week of training, basically. That's generally going to be better than +3 to every stat. Okay, so now is where we might want to go into the long rail tournament. That's gonna. I'd probably save that for the end here to try and get the big Mochi Beam, because we've got really decent learn percentages for all these moves here so far. Let's see if we want to go into that. Okay, that's good stat boosts right there, but it doesn't raise our bond. Whereas this would raise our bond a little bit. I don't think that's enough to get to yellow though, so maybe I just abandon trying to get that to yellow for prime. Okay, this is actually difficult. Oh, that's too many stats right there. I think I have to do this one. And that's, decent enough stats that I think I'm just going to try and risk it in terms of learning techs. Oh, okay. So if I saw that correctly, that was a little bit Forest Affinity boost. Okay. Good to know that that's what that card does. So now would be the time when we might want to do the Aura Cup, but again, I don't like those for any run where I'm trying to get good ranking. Okay, two good options here. This one here. Okay, this isn't like the greatest option. I think actually just going with this one is going to be better. It's going to give us more total stats. Nice life buffer. It's going to level up this guy. Level up our Mochi here. Yep, that's a great great grouping for this part of the run. Alright, so we didn't hit Prime, which is good. We ideally want to hit Prime on week 8. But now is when we have to go into the Major 4. So let's take a look here. Is it sunny? It's not sunny, so we don't... Now that we have access to the stat boost while sunny, we don't have to take that. I'm not even going to take anything right now, on the off chance that we awaken later in the run and get the ability learning discount. Alright, King Tut versus Zealandia. Now, if I had Mochi right here, this would be very, very easy, but I don't, so this is going to be a little bit more difficult. Luckily, Zealandia has crap for speed, and I've got great accuracy, so I should be able to just pedal swirl him down. I'm going to try to stay in its intelligence tech range, as that is its weakest tech by a long shot. Okay, that's good. Okay, so now we've got Zealandia down to 2 HP, and we got hit by a claw combo. Slap them bones. Okay. So that's the first Major 4 tournament done. We're going to need to be doing all of these for the optimal run, for reasons that will be explained now. And plus 12 to each stat. So that's very, very good. Okay, so... here we have a bit of a decision, because... do we? No, I think just the Sour Jelly will be good here. Less for the stat boost, because it's looking very likely that we'll cap intelligence, but more for the extra ability points. Okay. Well, that's looking like a pretty good training right there. Yeah, that looks good. We're in an awkward spot where if Prime starts now, that will be like pretty annoying. We're at very low stamina. And it did. Crap. Okay, so let's see what we're missing out on. Ooh, that's rough to be missing out on that. Okay, I'm gonna risk it. That is too good of stat gains to miss. So 12% is a little bit better. Okay, we did it. Whew. All right, I'm still gonna look, even though I'm not gonna be able to do. Oh, that's pretty good. But yeah, as you can see, like rainbows in Prime give like tons and tons of stats. So prioritizing high levels on your cards and using those cards a lot in the early game really makes your monster shine at this portion of the game in terms of stat gains. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, this is going to be insane. Because we still have this intelligence booster here. So let's go from 105 up to 126. Okay, we're gaining over 200 stats here. Give me a second while I screenshot that. And yeah, that's incredible. Ooh, that was like 500 rating right there in 1 week of training. Picking the right option here because I know that will give me a little bit extra life instead of extra intelligence. Again, that's something that you're just gonna have to either look up or trial and error and try to remember, which is difficult because, you know, Japanese game and all. Okay, that's pretty good. That's going to be better total stats for sure than the Heals Cup that I could go into right now. Heals Cup would give +8 to each stat. This is clearly better. And because I use Breeder Card, I don't necessarily need the extra reward from it, so that's going to be useful. Alright, now it's time for the second Major 4. Do I have any other things that look good here? Still cloudy. Okay. It's also going to show that you don't necessarily need the best text in the world a lot of the time, unless you're facing Astound. You know, I have to expect Astound to pop up because of that, but Drew Guard's like almost as bad. Because I am not a speed monster, and Drew Guard has a pretty effective tech against red monsters in its third slot here. So this is going to be tricky. If I lose this, I might end up using a Rainbow Hourglass to switch opponents, because Drugar's just that annoying for defensive builds, especially defensive red builds. Getting pretty lucky on these dodges so far, though. And yeah, see, that's why, like, even having, you know, 500 defense or however much I have, doesn't stop me from taking almost 100 damage from a hit tech. Alright, I'm just gonna spam here. So now I know what we're at. Crap. Okay, I'm gonna need to hit with this last pedal thing here. And I missed. And I got hit by bowls anyways. Okay. So I didn't necessarily want to do this, but I'm gonna have to Rainbow Hourglass here. Drugar's just too powerful. Not necessarily like too powerful, but too anti-exact. Oh my god. Okay, never mind. We just downgraded. As much as I hate fighting Drugard with you know, slow defensive red monsters. Astound is still worse. Look at that. He just crunched my head, only spent 19 guts. And withered me a decent amount too. Okay, dodging that's quite good. Dodging that's even better? Or no, that's, well... Okay, hit with 240%, which is good. What? Okay, so we're in the lead. We're no longer in the lead. God. Oh, I hate Astound. I hate Astound so much. Okay, normally I wouldn't even use Rainbow Hourglass, and I just, like, use regular Hourglasses and try to beat Drugard. But I'm trying to, you know, do a tutorial here. I kind of need to win these Major 4 tournaments to show this off, or else I'm just going to have to record again. Oof. No! Oh, that's kind of rough. Whatever, slap fight. I really need a better tech. I really need Mochi Ray. But now that my prime's over, I can start doing errant trees. Okay, so let's take a look at what we have here. Rainbow, but it's only 1, so that's not the most impressive stat gain. Okay, nothing too spicy there. So let's go into here and... Could be risky here. And by risky, I mean choosing the safe option to try and learn every tech. Okay, now we've got these Stat Star selection tournaments. This is another one that's sometimes worth it to do. Oof, those are some good trainings. That's a shame. If I known that there... Wow, okay. If I known that there were trainings that good this week, I would have rested last week. So the stat stars are nice because they give, you know, 20 of a stat about plus a item to boost that stat during training, and they unlock a later tournament that gives a plus 8 to each stat, as well as a item that gives plus 20 of the stat that you're specializing in. So decent tournaments. Question is, which do I want to go into? Hit Star or Tank Star? I've got a lot of errant trees left, which are going to give me more defense than accuracy. But, both my... but, you know, 2 of my drills raise accuracy incidentally. And my stats are looking very good right now. I'm fairly certain I'm going to cap or get close to caps for a lot of these, so... Yeah, I'm gonna try going for Tank Star. We'll see if this ends up biting me at the end if I have too much defense and not enough accuracy. Ooh. Oh, that's useful. Gave me an item. Yeah, there's a lot of RNG in this game. Okay, nothing too exciting in the training frontier, so let's... see, that was 99, now this is 94. Or, was 94, now it's 96. So let's grab that tech, because it's going to be kind of our bread and butter for the rest of the fights in this game. Ooh, okay. That's a decent roll there. Unfortunately, in this scenario, trying to raise accuracy monsters is a little bit sketch, because accuracy raises your power, and I'm an intelligence monster. Raising life would have been kind of nice, because that also increased my defense a little bit, so better synergy there, but Draco Mocchi has a bad life gain, so I want to, try and utilize its very good accuracy gains here to get a bunch of stats. Alright, let's check. Okay, finally it is sunny time, so let's grab the sunny bonus, this gold skill here, and this looks like the skill that Sakura Art gave me, so it's probably good. And I'll get this one for extra defense. Why not? Alright, we got Winner's Cup down to orange status there, so that's a pretty good sign. And we got Sierra. Okay. It's very doable. Alright, missing a 70, missing a 68, that's useful. Getting crit for 69, that's pretty nice. Okay, this isn't going exactly how I was hoping. You get the accurate tech, and then it just keeps missing. Like so. Great. Okay, I think I got 2 shots of this. Oh, well, that does really good damage. Okay, never mind, didn't matter. Okay, 3 down. Only 1 more to go for that Major Force sweep. Okay, ooh. Got another pretty good accuracy training here. Why aren't you going over here? I want the big defense. That's why I chose this campaign in the first place. I swear this keeps happening to me. Where I try raising defense monsters and they just never... The cards never go around for the defense stat. now they're all over in this power drill. I can't justify that. Alright, this looks like a good errantry week. Yeah, I've still got a lot of errantries left. I got 4 potentially. Once I get my tournament winnings up. Oh, very nice. Okay, so we finally got a couple people over in defense land. I think that's good enough. Okay, last major 4. And we got Miyako with the maxed out speed stat. Thankfully, we are raising an accurate monster here with C accuracy. Not the best, but it's useful. Yeah, C accuracy is our best accuracy. Okay, Miyako. Miyako's annoying. Not only because of the speed stat, but just because it's, good movement speed and good ghost regeneration means that it's going to be able to choose where it's sitting in terms of range and be able to attack a lot. Hopefully we are doing a pretty fantastic job of dodging ourselves. And we hit 340s, perfect. And that's the M4 swept. So apart from the embarrassment of having to use 2 rainbow hourglasses, that went pretty smoothly. And now we're going to get the plus 12 from being the M4, and plus 12 from being all of the M4s. And a little bit of extra accuracy for our troubles. So now we're above 10k. We need to get 14k to get S rank, so let's see how easy that's going to be. So just from looking at where we are now, we've got, once we get to 120G, we'll get our last errantry ticket, so that's 4 errantries. We were getting 40 per errantry, so that's an extra 160 for intelligence and defense, as well as an extra, I forget, it was like 29 for accuracy, so about 120-ish here. So we're not quite in maxing our stats territory here, but we're getting close. As well, we need to plan out how many weeks we have left. We've got 1, 2, 3. So we got 6 activity weeks because I want to do the stat tournament next week. So considering that, there's a decent drill here, actually. Yeah, I think this is good enough to take. Just gonna look here. Yeah, nothing fantastic. I mean, that intelligence drill was pretty decent, but I was really looking for either a defense drill or defense tournament. Wow, the disrespect to Frog Rock. Slap in the knee. Okay, if you notice that there was the star loyalty there when I tried giving it food that would normally give hearts, so that means that we're actually maxed out on heart loyalty, so it's good to know. Okay, so now good power drill, but don't really need the good power drill. Let's use our defense fruit here. And start finishing up the errand trees. And due to us equipping a hero card and, training with it like twice, we have the extra week. Alright, so stats looking pretty good. And this guy. Alright, so this guy isn't going to be that hard. Because we're using the green card. Yeah. This gold skill here won't really be that useful in battle, but it'll be useful for raiding. It'll give us a little bit of extra speed normally, and extra speed if we ever outspeed our opponent, which probably not going to do, but who knows. Yeah, not quite. But we've got a green opponent, and we've got a red aura skill. That's gonna miss anyways. Durahan here isn't even in the game, isn't even available to raise yet. No Durahans are. It's also interesting that it's a green monster despite not really being green. I just noticed right now that I still have my damage marker up from like the first hit I took. This game is well programmed. But now we've won the last tournament that we'll actually have to play in style with a bunch of flower petals. Okay, so we want as much stamina as possible. Let's see if we get the big stamina boost. We got the average stamina boost, which is a bit unfortunate. Alright, let's... Damn it! Okay, we failed the 80%, which is actually a big problem here. Really would like to learn that. I'm now getting punished for not going into the long-range tournaments. Because now I am in the unenviable position of having to decide between a 90% tech learn or a like for a tech that's not even good on this monster, or a 60% tech learn for a tech that is quite good on this monster. Well, I like to gamble. That's why I'm playing Monster Rancher in the first place, so let's go for this. Nice, we learned it. So now we're in the position where we've done all our entries, and we're going into the last week with, like, next to no stamina. Ooh. I kind of wish on the screen they let you check your monster's stats, because I'm like, do I need accuracy here? Or should I go for extra stamina? Whatever, I'll go for the extra accuracy just in case. We'll see if that'll end up messing me up here. Okay, that may have helped. So now we are going into a very low chance of getting a success here. Drill, but let's see. So we're not going to get the best ending, so we're getting plus 30 to all stats at the end of this. So if we want to max stuff out, this drill would be the best option for pure maxing out potential. This is the safest one, but we're gonna try. 43% to pass, and we passed. Sick. Ooh, sure. Might give a little bit of speed. Cool. Alright. So now we're at the end here, and as we can see, we are already at 14k. So we have succeeded in raising an S-rank monster with this fun little Draco Mocchi. You know, things got a little bit hairy there, and we had to get a bit lucky. Let's go through our texts here and see if we can... Oh, actually, crap. We never got S-rank Volcano, did we? Did I even do that tournament? Or did I, like, completely, like, autopilot and not even take it? Huh. Okay, that's a bit of a shame, but we got what we came for, I guess. Okay. And let's see the final total here. $14,440. So that's a very solid rating for a 4-star monster. It is the best Draco Mocchi I've raised by a decent chunk. And okay, we got some interesting secrets here, most notably the 3-star stat secret, which is very nice. 1-star M4 sweep. If that had been 3 stars, I would have been over the moon. This would have been a fantastic parent if it was, but still decent. And that's actually maxed out my bond. Okay, so I'm going to justify it to myself. The S rank didn't matter because I wasn't going to use this for expeditions anyways. So that's how you raise an S-rank monster in this game. As far as how the run went, like, kind of easy to say, maybe I only got this S-rank because of that incredible intelligence drill partway through. That gave me like 200 stats, but I mean, looking at it, that was the only time I got a 4 or higher stat grouping, I'm pretty sure. In fact, I didn't even get that many 3s, especially during Prime, so while that was, like, very, very useful and very, very lucky, I still think that in total, for, like, how this run went, I had pretty average luck, maybe slightly better than average, but, I mean, I think that goes to show that getting that ability to get rainbow drills as quick as possible is, kind of the key to maximizing your stat gains, especially during Prime, and getting yourself a king like this one. So, thanks for watching. If you have any, comments about how the raise went, any tips for me, or clarifications that you want, feel free to leave comments. I'll try to respond to them if you do. And check out anything else on the channel if that interests you. So, that's about it for me, and stay ratchet.